Okay, what was this?
Recently,
Idiocracy of conservative goths.
I received
More
this
videos.
comment. I continue to beg you to make a video about the conservative goths on TikTok.
Please cook them, queen.
Don't understand the history
You
of
mean
goth
goth
fashion.
queen? Please
One of
cook
them was wearing a Ghost
conservative
t-shirt.
goth.
Please cover this. I beg you. Give me.
They're dressing goth and they don't even know that all of the people who made goth music are fucking homosexual freaks.
1 second.
Whoa, cringe. Okay, like, wow.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and on this channel we talk about life and relationships after leaving the church and do some commentary on the goings on in evangelical Christianity.
Yeah,
I really wanted to do more of a trad goth look, but I tried doing that and it just it didn't work out. I don't think that I have the right features to really pull that off, and my skin is just so dry that using that much foundation, especially white foundation,
you look like a witch.
It was cracking and cakey and like just not working on me.
Cakey says, okay, wood. Posey says, smash. Millennials are seething because Gen Z are all cool bronies. That's true. We're pulling off something they never could, being a brony openly. It looks good on us, and they're so mad. They're so mad. They want that so bad, you know.
If anyone has advice on
Land
what
pigs
to
need
do
love
for
too.
a more like traditional goth look for someone who has my facial features a little bit more rounded, has really dry skin, let me know. I still think I pulled off the winged eyeliner pretty well, though. I am proud of that. I kind of feel like I have more black on this side.
It
I
looks
don't know if that's just
absolutely
the effect of how I'm
retarded,
looking
but
at the camera.
slay.
I think I might go fix
But all
that
the same,
real quick. Okay, I
go
think
off.
that's better.
Go
I
off.
don't know. I think it's an effect of the camera because, like, when I look in the mirror, they look pretty even, but
because you're
here they
fucking
don't.
tilted.
So
You're at an angle, you idiot.
I don't do eyeshadow super often.
Get on with it. We're not here for your ugly face, bitch.
Goth who
Wait, what's her sponsor? Wait, what is she? Hold on. No way. She's sponsored by the Rose Toy. No way. She's literally sponsored by the Rose Toy. She took the Twitter sex toy sponsor.
And it's quickly
dude, I love the Rose Toy. Anyone else?
At all price.
Chat. Anybody else? Anyone in chat? Love the Rose Toy.
Of this type of toy, they have the experience.
What the fuck is that? Have you never used Twitter?
Really high quality and reliable products. They offer a wide range of toys at all price points,
dude, this is
all
the Rose
featuring
Toy.
their patented Pleasure Air technology. I recently received their Womanizer Enhance, and it's quickly become one of my absolute favorite toys. What makes this toy a winner is that it actually combines their Pleasure Air technology with vibrational
the
stimulation.
viral Rose Toy.
And you know that we love a dual stimulation.
Sorry, I'm
moment.
an actual incel. Dude, if you use Twitter, it's below every viral tweet is just the same person that posted the viral tweet taking a sponsorship of this. You don't have to be a fake cell to see it, dude. It's literally, that was the thing.
What's also
been that way for like 4 years.
Really cool is that each motor is independently controlled, giving you a super personalized experience. There are 10 different intensity levels for
Faceless just said, if I used that shit, it'd get lost in my ass. That is just absolutely insane.
For both vibrational and suction stimulation.
Crazy.
I also just love how sleek this product.
What the fuck kind of accounts do you follow? Are you just like all third worlders? Do you just not use X? Do they not have servers? Any viral tweet, any tweet that has 300,000 likes plus will be sponsored by the fucking Rose Toy, because they'll pay the fucking person that posted it like $1,000 to tweet below it. Everyone sees it, you fucking idiots.
I'm not sure if the camera's adequately capturing it, but it's a really nice looking product. It feels really natural in the hand. It's also been reported that 100% of those who've tried the Womanizer Enhance have reached the finish line.
100%?
It feels really natural in the hand. It's also been reported that 100% of those who've tried the Womanizer Enhance have reached the finish line.
100%.
Let's just say that. You can't go wrong with this toy with odds like that. It's also 100% waterproof, so you can take some relaxation time basically wherever you want. Within reason, of course. Don't go breaking any laws. I'm really excited that Womanizer is offering a discount on their new Womanizer Enhance exclusively for my viewers. If you use my code Antibot20, you'll receive a 20% off the Enhance. This code only works for a couple of days, so I highly recommend getting your hands on this amazing product soon. Thank you so much, Womanizer. Now back to the video. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the original TikTok of the conservative goth wearing a ghost shirt. I think that she took the video down.
Now that's
but I
content.
did find another goth
now this
who
is content.
stitched her original video.
100% success rate though. That's insane, right? Dude, okay, yeah, look. And if the rose toy doesn't send you over the finish line, for the guys, you get this, look. For the guys, you get the male rose, the viral male rose toy. Beware of cheap knockoffs, they will hurt your dong. Buy the original, it's soft texture, feels just like the real thing. Look at that thing go. Look at that thing fucking go. The viral male rose toy. TheMaleRose.com.
I'm so tired of hearing.
Oh, hell yeah. What in the world? The real thing does not feel like that. How would you fucking know, you incel? How would any of you incels fucking know that, huh? You doing tricks on it. Feels just like the real thing. Got lasers going. It's got like fucking... It shaves your pubes while it goes. It's spraying liquid. It's like spraying lube on you. It's playing music. It's an MP3 player. It's got a built-in fan for when it gets hot in the summer. It's the male rose toy. It's viral for a reason. Okay, it washes the dishes. Should have read the instructions. My dongs hurt. Oh man, I got a knockoff.
You can't be goth. You can't be Republican.
Because you literally can't. I guarantee you that if you go to any goth club or any scene in your area, any of the goths that you meet are not going to agree with your views. And that's because not only is goth a music-based subculture, it is also a derivative from punk. Which, if you know anything about punk values, they do not align with conservative Republican values.
They're gay.
You're welcome to call yourself goth all
You've seen this one already.
Realize that you won't make many goth friends if you do. Right-wing ideology isn't prevalent in the goth subculture, and most goths see conservative.
This is true because, okay, the goth subculture is just fat women and gay people. But goth is like a look, meaning they don't listen to it. They're not going to whatever fucking gay clubs. They're talking about any of that mall goth, what they call mall goth, which is like 100 times more popular than whatever the fuck this is. They don't, I mean, they're just women. They'll just do whatever the fuck. Realistically, they'll just follow whoever they're dating's lead.
Conservatism as diametrically opposed to goth values and ideals.
Because like 70% neo-Nazis, that's true, but it's still mostly gay.
We'll discuss the history and politics of the goth subculture later in the video.
But they're also all gay.
We must address the elephant in the room, the ghost shirt. The irony of wearing a ghost shirt while talking about how you're a Republican goth is genuinely
send them in the
astonishing.
chat. Just put those in the chat.
You all know that I'm obsessed with the band Ghost. It's actually one of my special interests, but You don't have to be a mega fan like I am to know that Ghost's music stands in direct opposition to
The
modern day
fascism.
republicanism. I mean, the band's entire theatrical concept satirizes a
Holy
religious
based.
institution that weaponized religion
Right, that's
to
not based.
consolidate political
I'm just
power.
saying.
You know, kind of like how Christian nationalism
The
has
white
taken
hoods
political
kind of go
power.
hard though.
You know,
Okay,
kind
you know,
of
not
like
with the Catholic symbols and stuff. I'm just saying, like, as a concept, you know what I mean? Like, taking it out of whatever we're seeing right here, just like as a, you know, look.
Christian nationalism has taken over the Republican Party and is currently directing the actions of Trump's administration through their Project 2025. Like, talking
Actually, even
about
with the
being
symbol,
a
kinda cool.
Republican goth while wearing a Ghost shirt is like talking about being
Ghost
a
is
vegan
utter
while
pop
you're holding a
shit.
piece
I
of
don't even know
bacon.
what that is.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Their latest album, Impera, is about the rise and fall of empires and makes allusions to Republican politicians in multiple songs. The song 20s is a commentary on the political landscape of Trump's first term, including paraphrasing direct quotes from Trump, like, "We'll be grabbing them all by the hoo-haws." I love that he changed it to hoo-haws. Tobias Forge, the man behind Ghost.
Imagine listening to music that says the word hoo-ha. Imagine, what the fuck? They say hoo-ha?
Even compares Trump's administration to Germany with the lines, "Direct the course of collision for the Reich to come to fruition." As its name implies, the song Griftwood, also from the Impera album, is about those who co-opt religion to secure political power.
Like
it directly calls out Christian nationalism and is aimed at former Vice
for my
President
Marines
Mike
out there
Pence.
in the chat.
The line,
Big
"Holy
salute to
Mother,
you,
you wash at the
Marines."
sin for my feet," makes fun of the fact.
Hold on, can we get a moment of silence for the veterans in the chat? Hoorah! Sorry, I was just reminded of those that have fallen. Okay, continue.
Fact that Pence's nickname for his wife is apparently Mother. I'm sorry, the only person that anyone is allowed to call Mother is
unless
Lady
you're like,
Gaga.
unless you're saying that to like your kids, like, oh, well, ask Mother, you know, that's fine, but
or maybe ContraPoints, and like, I'll die on that hill. In an interview about the song for Loudwire, Forge even said that Pence qualifies for a front row ticket to hell and that conservatives are taking the world back to medieval times. If you need further proof that Ghost...
Wouldn't that be good? Wait, wouldn't Goths be in favor of that? Okay, now I'm really confused. Would that not be like a good thing coming from a Goth? He's taking us back to the medieval times, the golden age of being God. He's a Gothic revivalist. Why would Goths not want to live in castles and shit? Yeah, I don't understand. He's a Gothic revivalist. And we hate that as Goths. What?
Dislikes the Republican Party.
Yeah, don't they like hell? Yeah, it's true.
Check out this clip from...
He's sending us all to the graveyard. He gets 100% of the Goth vote. He's trying to put us in the ground. He's trying to put us in a cemetery.
An interview with the Nameless School, who, if you're at all familiar with Ghost, will know.
It's not a scam to get women. I don't know what you mean. It's just a scam to get women. Like, every goth girl you see doesn't listen to any of this shit, is what I'm telling you. Like, the goth thing is for, like, millennial fat old women. And the goth girls are just like mall goths. They're just wearing their shit. They're just wearing, yeah, it's like a costume. And then the fat old women are like, goth is not a costume. Our culture is not a costume. You know, and then they're all mad. But it's also because they're envious. They're younger. True.
No, is actually Tobias.
Thank you, Zero. True, though. True.
Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders?
Well, I almost put myself in a little bit of... this is... You know, it's always a little bit complicated with politics. In this particular... With this question, just because it's so specific, and you got something that's so black on one side and one that is not entirely black on the other. Black as in dark, obviously. Sorry, but that is like from the utter perimeter of the darkest part of the universe. I would say Bernie.
I really don't mean to sound rude, but if you're unironically calling yourself a Republican goth while wearing a ghost shirt, you're either a poser or you're just like really dense. Not only would this woman be ousted from most goth clubs, but
she would
probably be unwelcomed in the ghost fandom. We ghouls are
Oh.
unambiguously supportive of LGBT folks, minority groups.
Ghost. The ghost fandom is comprised of ghouls. Dude, what are you, the fucking Ku Klux Klan? No, wait, they're goblins. I still can't get over that when we learned that the ranks in the KKK are like goblins and, you know, like I knew Inquisitor and Grand Wizard, but like the lower levels are literally like goblins. And they're like...
and disabled individuals.
The ghouls.
And as someone who's part of the ghost
wouldn't be allowed to be a ghoul as a Republican.
To say that this Trump supporter can get the fuck out. We ghost fans are not going to tolerate anyone who's voted to take our rights away. I'm really sorry for my long ghost tangent. Let's get back to discussing conservative goths.
Real ghost shit.
Apparently there's a handful of creators.
Read third comment. I just recently dated a goth girl witch who liked a lot of things in this video, like ghosts, vampires, cross-dressing, cosplay, gay fiction, and also did a lot of spiritual stuff that most conservatives would probably hate. However, I learned she still voted for Trump, her excuse being that the elites hate him and that he and Elon weren't Nazis. They were just trolling everyone. Many other red flags popped up, like her closeted disdain for my trans Hispanic friends, making lizard people act common conspiracy theories about mind control from the government, her parents being heavily libertarian business owners, defending billionaires, and her saying she had a soulmate in a past life who was a Nazi. I'm sure the majority of people, like, this is real. This is what I'm saying. It's like, this is also, like, real. I'm sure the majority of people in the goth or witch community are not similar with respect to those political beliefs, so it baffles me why she didn't understand me not being okay with her politics. I think that clip of Blair White perfectly summed up what she probably believed she was doing. Sticking it to the elites when in actuality she was simply advancing the goals of people who would likely make life worse for her. True, though. True.
On TikTok calling themselves conservative or Republican or MAGA goths. Goths can't be conservatives. Always have been, always will be. Oh, God. She's wearing a Trump hat. Ugh. Drink a bucket of bleach or vote for Kamala. Yeah. All American Nightmare, that is for sure. Hashtag Trump train. I used to
as if
work with
this shit's so bad, dude.
Guy. Well, where I used to work, pretty much everybody was a Republican, and this guy would walk around our building yelling Trump train over and over again. It was the most obnoxious thing.
Trump train! Trump train! Trump train! She's literally sitting there seething because the guy is going, choo choo! Trump train! Woo! Woohoo! I'm getting tired of winning. Woo!
When I discover another punk / goth / emo / alt conservative.
Okay, that one's trans. This one's trans. Holy crap.
Do you want to form an alliance with me? Absolutely, I do. Good, excellent.
Oh, the Trump, the Trump beanie. Why is it this like ugly puke green color? Can't be alt / goth / emo and conservative. It's the most
And she mogs her.
Chronically online statement.
Hold on, I gotta get to the right side of the screen because I'm blocking the
being
left.
chronically online. It's just being educated. Yikes.
Yikes. We're just more educated than you.
How embarrassing.
Oh my gosh. This is good. This is just a whole nother form of seething. I had a feeling that we could reach this, that we could get something like this, you know, but now I'm seeing the vision really come to fruition here.
So I think that most people, even those outside the
5 chins
subculture, intuitively understand the goth lifestyle to be associated with leftist politics and thus oppositional to conservative values. Like, this is just common knowledge. I think if you've got 2 brain cells to rub together, you probably know that goth ideology doesn't mesh with conservatism. But me being me, I didn't want to make a video just calling conservative goths ignorant dum-dums and leaving it at that.
You even listen to Ghost? Are you even a, what did she say they're called? Are you even a ghoul? Like, are you even a fucking ghoul, you idiot?
Instead, while
researching live slash JimboZoomer, by the way, support the show, keep it on the air, bankroll it, keep it alive.
For this video, I read multiple books on the goth subculture to hopefully give my viewers a deeper understanding of why so many goths find their conservative counterparts problematic. According to Goth Undead Subculture,
okay, can we not do that? Dude, stop it! We're trying to get KCIP, please. Okay, let's relax. I know you're black, but it doesn't really make it okay. W Power Chat. This is the Kamala song from 1998. JimboZoo, back to the minimum. She made Goth's new album sound terrible. Emptying Groiper balls in a goth. Is a goth value, educate yourself. Someone's got to educate them. Someone's got to educate them on that. I'm not seeing enough of it. Real goth music. This is actually good, I'm not gonna lie. This is actually kind of, you know, surprisingly good song, huh? What is she about to show us? Goth? The undead subculture? The undead subculture. Sorry, trying something. Biggest coconuts that you've ever seen. This is about boobs. Sorry, I was bookmarking something on Instagram. Not on Instagram, on Twitter. Some are as big as your head. Holy based. Yo, also, I forgot to say this when we were watching the Switch stuff. Did you hear the battery life will be like half as long as the Switch 1? That it will last between like 2 to 6 hours or something like that.
A collection of academic essays on the goth scene.
We're back
and
to
a
this.
resource.
Give me that big shout out. I appreciate it. Power to the left session. If you want to support the show, keep it on the air or whatever.
Origins
you know what it
back
is.
to the early days of punk. Punk emerged in the 1970s
Okay, goth
in New
history
York
lesson.
and Britain and is a subculture centered around music, ideology, and fashion. Broadly speaking, punks value nonconformity and a do-it-yourself mentality. Ideological and political stances such as anti-capitalism, anti-establishment,
Right.
and anarchism are ubiquitous in punk circles. While there is a small minority of punks that hold to far-right and often fascist beliefs, they're primarily ostracized by the larger punk community. If you're looking for an example of
But
what
don't
most
get it-
punks think
don't get it
about
wrong, they're all
right-leaning
gay.
punks, just listen to Nazi Punks Fuck Off by Dead Kennedys. Most people in the scene hold this song up as a paragon of punk ideals.
True.
Okay, just start
It's
again.
true.
Nazi punks, fuck off, take 3.
This is the most millennial shit of all time. Like that's exact. Nazi punks, fuck off, my dude. Fuck off, my dude. My fucking Nazi punks. My guy.
As a post-punk subculture, goth follows in punk's
Dude. Of course, that's how it is.
As a post-punk subculture, goth follows in punk's footsteps, centering around music and fashion. Well-known gothic bands include Bauhaus,
Wow, that was
Joy
fire.
Division, The
That was
Cure,
heat, bruh.
Susie and the Banshees, and my
That
personal
was
favorite,
good.
Sisters of Mercy. Gothic fashion elements include black clothing that's often thrifted, silver jewelry, dark makeup, Victorian corsets, and
Often
leather.
rave
There are
robbed.
also different types of goths who highlight particular aspects
Corpse
of goth
goth.
fashion and music. From the original
corpse
70s
goth.
era
I rob
trad goths who
raves.
sport deathly white makeup and corsets, to cyber goths who take on a more futuristic look, to the
Vampire the
recent
Masquerade
and
ass.
controversial clean goth popularized by TikTokers.
Yo, what's with the goon tent, bitch? Yo, chill. Yo, relax. All right, goon
Really,
goon
what do
tent.
we all think about
alt-right
clean
pipeline.
goths? I'm gonna go ahead and clock myself and admit that my style often falls into the category of clean goth. I don't really
Bitch, you're dressed like a fat pig witch. Hello? Bitch, you're literally.
consider myself goth
This
to
is
begin
like
with,
Miss
but
Piggy
I
as
do
wearing a Halloween
love me
costume.
some Disturbia, and if any brand out there is considered clean goth, it would
Bro, that song is way older than millennials. I know that song is way older than millennials, but that's where millennials got it from. Was that like that's? I'm saying that sounds just like millennials because that's the type of shit millennials, you know, would listen to and go, damn, that's hard. Damn, that's crazy. Damn.
definitely be them. But you know, most goths say that all it really
Nazi punks.
takes to be
Fuck off!
goth is listening to goth music and holding to goth ideals, which I actually do. So maybe I am goth. Anyway, goth also inherited punk's nonconformist attitude and as a subculture is socially categorized as a perceived deviation from normative ideals. Goths also adopted the ideological and political stances of punks, but in some
There's too many Nazi punks. I think it's time to write a song. All right, I'm ready. All right, play something. Nazi punks, fuck off, Nazi. Fucking fuck off, Nazi punks, you fucking shit, fuck.
ways expanded these stances even further, namely on issues regarding sex and gender.
Wait, I've got
Punk's
an idea.
ethos, its militant anti-sexual anarchy, was challenged by the Gothic's romantic
Can't believe
obsessions
that
with
shit. I
death,
can't believe that
darkness,
shit.
and perverse sexuality.
Woo.
Punk's carnivalesque but often rigid male body was supplanted by an androgynous Gothic body. Your probably body was supplanted by an
What? Punk's militant anti-sexual anarchy? Punk is anti-sexual? What is that? What? Was challenged by the Gothics' romantic obsessions with death, darkness, and perverse sexuality. Punk's carnival-esque, but often rigid male body was supplanted by gigantic, round, Milkers.
androgynous gothic body. You're
True.
probably wondering, what is militant anti-sexual anarchy? I know you're probably wondering that because when I read through this book, I was like, what the hell is that? While this isn't true of the entire subculture, there is a strain of punks who hold negative perceptions of sexual activity, especially casual sex. This is perhaps most well known in scenes like straight edge, an offshoot of hardcore punk, in which adherents refrain from alcohol, substances, and sometimes casual sex. Anti-sexual anarchist punks believe that the state uses sex to control people, that sex is akin to hard drugs, and that any form of pornography is detrimental to human flourishing. As far as I can tell, anti-sexual anarchist punks aren't really around these days. In contrast, many goths embrace sexuality, especially expressions of sexuality that society deems
I can't explain why, but this feels like a quintessential fat woman video. I can. Dude, it's a fat goth bitch reacting to TikTok conservative goth girls that just mock her and going, ideologically, you're not goth.
This is partly why, and
they would all hate you in the goth. If you went to the ghoul meetup, they wouldn't know you. They don't know you at the ghost meetup. I asked around the graveyard. Nobody knew you.
Interest in vampirism and vampire tales is so common among goths. In addition to symbolizing
vampire tales,
this is partly why an interest in vampirism and vampire tales is so common among goths. In addition to symbolizing societal alienation and a proclivity toward darkness, vampires symbolize seduction, lust, and irrational longing. I think Eggers' 2024 remake of Nosferatu, a reimagining of Bram Stoker's 1897 Gothic novel Dracula, beautifully captures a vampiric seduction that is both irresistible and frankly repulsive. Ellen, the movie's protagonist, finds herself caught between loathing and yearning or lusting for Orlok, the most unquestioned.
Okay, so I don't really think this is Robert Eggers' fault, but it's crazy because the movie looked cool, but it really is just like the Nosferatu story, which they just followed the exact same story as like the movie, as the old movie, like the 1920s movie, the silent film. But like exactly, like it ends the same way, like everything is 100% the same, basically. But it really is just like a weird, like cuckold rape story. Like Jewish cuckold rape story. And it is a little bizarre. Like, it makes sense that it's there, that like the sexual part of it, it's there. But I didn't really think that much about it. But then I was talking to Maz about it, and Maz saw it, and Maz was like, what the fuck? Like, but he also just hates Robert Eggers. But then I realized like it's not really Robert Eggers' fault because he really did just like one-to-one copy the exact story of the original, like the 100-year-old movie. So it's really not his fault, but you know, he pointed that out and I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. Like, you know, that is true, actually. But it does look good. But the story is kind of bad. It's like low-key anti-Semitic, obviously. The original is anti-Semitic. Ish. And like I get what it's going for. And honestly, in the original, it feels less cuckoldish because it's like a silent movie. So it's like it doesn't really happen the same way. Like it doesn't really whatever. But yeah, I guess in this version, it does come across more that way. Her master plan for beating the vampire was letting it fuck her all night long. Yeah, like, that is insane. And, like, literally, okay. And if you haven't seen the movie and you're going to go see it, mute. If you're going to go watch it still, you just haven't gotten around to it, mute for a second. Okay, spoiler alert for, like, 10 seconds. Dude, her plan to kill the vampire is literally like, I'm going to have sex with him for so long that he'll forget that the sun's going to rise and then the sun will fucking vanquish him. And then that happened. Okay, anyway, so we're done.
Questionably grotesque portrayal of Dracula in film. In many ways, Eggers' Nosferatu is quintessential goth in its portrayal of decaying eroticism and bleak aesthetics. Also, I am...
Okay, but where was the capitalist critique? But where was... Dude, where was the class critique, though? What? I don't understand. Okay, no, I'm thinking about it again. The thing is, it is like a little bit weird because it's cuckoldy, but it is also just like anti-Semitic. Like the banking, again, spoiler alert, the banker character who's sending like the main guy who's like the cuck to go meet the Nosferatu is like a guy who has like a I think it was just straight up a 6-point star underneath his desk and like lifts up the carpet and he's worshiping Nosferatu, and as Nosferatu gets closer and closer to the city, he starts having like schizophrenic episodes and is like put in an asylum and is losing his mind. And it's literally like this banker guy, and he's sending him to go meet this wealthy Eastern European client who wants to buy property in the city or whatever, so they're gonna broker the deal. Like, that's literally what it is. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Still planning on making a video on Nosferatu, but my costume still hasn't arrived. I actually got an email earlier today saying that a shipping label was created for it, so I'm hoping it gets here soon, but
Bitch, shut up.
I'm kind of afraid it might be way too late to make a video on Nosferatu at this point, but I absolutely love that
Ian
movie,
Carroll,
so I'm probably
unfortunately,
still gonna
gets
do
cucked
it,
in
and
the
I
movie.
know I've heard from a couple people that they'd be interested in that type of video, so if you want to see a Nosferatu video,
Or maybe he's
drop me a
Nosferatu.
comment. Anyway, it's not just through vampiric fantasies that goths subvert societal norms regarding gender and sexuality. I'll just say it like this. Goth is very queer. From the very beginning, the goth scene was inclusive of queer and gender diverse folks. The first goth club, the Batcave in London, opened in 1982 and was said to be where the more dressy punks congregated. The club was described by gay men as a safe place to be, and the club played host to the local fetish scene. Since then, goth clubs have welcomed those who are queer, transgender, or wish to express the more feminine or soft aspects of their personality, especially for those that society holds to masculine norms. For many goth men, androgyny is a central component of their aesthetic. At its most utopian, goth culture helps to cultivate anti-heteronormative sexualities, unconventional genders, and non-binaristic social relations between the sexes. Lesbians and gays are a substantial presence in the subculture, and goth queercore communities flourish in many cities. Propaganda, a popular goth and fetish magazine that ran from 1982 until 2000.
Okay, what the fuck? And this is like far left wing. This is like communism. Hello? What? They're using the Mein Kampf font. They're using the literal Mein Kampf font, and they've got the fucking skull, dude.
2003 regularly featured gender-bending outfits and
they're gay Nazis. I've been saying this. It's all gay Nazis
and transgender models. Before the magazine went defunct, photographer and editor Fred H. Berger released an issue featuring masculine androgynous women who he felt were underrepresented in the goth
gay
scene.
Nazis.
The stylized photographs included women with short hair and pelvic bulges, something that was quite controversial for the time. In a 2015 interview with Dazed, Berger mentioned how his
pelvic bulge. What the fuck does she mean by that? What? Is she saying trans? They have a cock?
Magazine had actually sparked outrage among the religious right. At one point, the Christian activist group Focus on the Family interviewed Berger about propaganda, and They subsequently released a hit piece calling the magazine satanic and ruinous for the youth. Some conservative Christians also claimed propaganda invoked evil spirits. Apparently,
Probably
these Christians had read an article from the magazine about how the band Bauhaus had experienced several technical difficulties while recording their song Stigmata Martyr.
They read about how Bauhaus was lifted upside down on stage in the middle of a performance by spirits.
Members of Bauhaus said in the article that they felt like their recording studio was possessed, a remark these Christians took literally. I really have no idea why they accused propaganda of conjuring evil spirits because of something that happened to Bauhaus.
Yeah, I wouldn't want people flying upside down in my home either. Sonny, I agree.
But, you know, in the mind of the religious right, they're both on the same.
You just know she's a nurse or in HR.
It could also be said that the David Bowie inspired traditional goth makeup
Imagine this
with
your HR
its
person.
heavy white foundation and dramatic.
If this is your HR person, you just have to literally become like a manipulator. Like you just have to like read about whatever the fuck stupid goth shit. You know what I mean? You got to figure out what it is and then read about it and then just like comment about it randomly. Because I mean, this person's like fucking retarded. I mean, this is like literally, this is probably the most easy person in the world to like rob. You know what I mean? On the planet. Hey! No, that's not gothic. No. The Gothic Cathedral is not goth, dude. Chill. Okay. Leave that out of here. Leave architecture out of this.
Winged eyeliner, exaggerate.
Learn dark triad manipulation tactics from Balltown. 12 steps to power, some gay shit. No, not even like, I'm not saying read like 12 steps to power. I just mean like this person's so retarded. If you just read about goth, witchcraft, you know, and whatever, and then you just said like a couple times when you saw this person, if they were like your HR or like a manager or something, you just said a few times, you just like commented or like you saw something in their office, you look up what it is and then you comment on it and go, whoa, that's awesome. And then you'll never get in trouble ever because this person's just a fucking idiot. I mean, this is just like a retard, you know?
Femininity similarly to drag. The traditional societal view of makeup popularized by women's magazines and talk show makeovers is that it works as an accessory that either hides blemishes or accentuates women.
They don't want to talk about the true origin of goth. Neither does Jimbo, apparently. It's so over. Listen, leave the Goths, the Visigoths, the Goths, the German, you know, the German people out of this, okay? I don't want to hear it. Goth came from England and New York City in the 1990s, okay? Ostrogoths, yeah, that's the word I keep forgetting. It came from the 1990s in New York City and London, okay? Leave this out of it. Werewolves of London created the Gothic people.
Women's features. Female goths took this idea of accentuation to an extreme. The total effect of such gothic makeup served to challenge and almost parody what a beautiful woman looks like. Women in the LA gothic scene also favored a dominatrix style involving fishnets, vinyl, and spiked heel boots. Long velvet dresses or corsets were also quite common. Through this hyperbolic use of stereotypically sexy clothing and the use of makeup, female goths were able to subvert gender stereotypes through an exaggerated femininity. I should also note about this book that I used pretty heavily for a resource for this video. It was written a while ago, and so a lot of the language that they tend to use, you can tell is dated and isn't the type of language that we'd use today because it's not super inclusive. And you can just tell that I don't know how to say it other than they just have like kind of an outdated view of things sometimes. Just as drag is a tool for breaking gender stereotypes, traditional goth makeup can also upend societal norms for women's appearance. Part of goth is about using makeup, something that mainstream society tells us should only be be used to make women more appealing to the male gaze as a tool for self-expression and even resistance. It's been said a lot recently, but it really is true that makeup is political. I actually reached out to my friend May Graves to further discuss the connection between goth makeup and drag. I've known May since I was a Christian teenager, and we initially connected over our love for the Victorian industrial artist Emily Autumn. May now works as a drag artist in the Dallas
fix your
area.
website. K3 made Joy Division good. Wait, what's Kick doing? Tell her you like Morrissey and she'll think you're cool, right?
And her artistry
is the Kick chat just eating chats?
is greatly influenced by goth and horror, so I thought she'd be the perfect person to discuss this subject.
Hi Taylor, thank you so much for having me. I could go on about this for ages. For those of you who don't know me, my name is May Graves.
What the
I'm
fuck
a drag
is
queen
this?
and musician based out of Dallas, Texas, who used to preach in the Church of Christ, which clearly didn't work out.
I'm just going to go ahead and skip that part. That's too goth for me. That's too scary.
Thank you so much, May. In addition to drag, May is also a very talented musical artist. She just dropped a new single, Deadhead, featuring the electronic group Angel Spit, which I used to listen to all the time back in high school. And the song is an absolute banger. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend checking out her work, and I'll have her music and website linked down in the description. As if you need any more proof that goth is queer, some of the most
chats are being eaten.
Kick,
why are you breaking?
Erotic horror film The Hunger and the 1994 film Interview with the Vampire ooze with queer intimacy and romance. In The Hunger, the two female leads, Miriam and Sarah, have an explicit sexual encounter. I mean, if this movie was made today, it would undoubtedly be labeled as woke and satanic by right-wing media. In Interview with the Vampire, there is definite romantic tension between the male characters Louis and Lestat. I mean, you cannot tell me that they were not in a relationship. Like, they so obviously were. All of this to say, if you have the gall to call yourself a conservative goth and don't understand why everyone else thinks that this is an oxymoron, you obviously don't know a single thing about the goth subculture.
Right, you're a fucking idiot.
What's worse, by voting Republican, you're actively hurting
You're
the
trying to
group you
kill
claim to belong
actual
to.
goths.
Trump and his administration are
You're attacking
actively
Germany
working to erase
and her
trans
people.
identity from public life. And many in Trump's circle are hoping to eventually
the chat
also
works, it's
repeal
just slow.
protections
Well, it's
for
just
gay
like
marriage.
some of the
Gay
chats
and
don't
trans
send, some of
folks
them do.
make up a big part of the goth subculture. And if you had any empathy for those that you, again, claim to be somewhat allied with, you wouldn't vote to take their rights away. Unfortunately, I think some so-called goths
if you actually even
towards
fucking
conservatism
cared
and republicanism for the same reason they gravitate toward the goth subculture. As we discussed, punk-inspired goth values include nonconformity and anti-establishment attitudes. Trump marketed himself and MAGA as anti-establishment and anti-elitist, even though Trump, having been brought up surrounded by affluence, is unquestionably part of the elite himself. Many
Which is not
Trumpers
goth.
genuinely see themselves as sticking it to the
Kick is
man
logging you
and
out
draining
now?
the
Oh my
elitist
gosh.
swamp through their support of the Republican Party. Just check out how conservative political commentator
Wait, I had to
Blair
open my
White
door, it's so
responded
loud.
to the conservative goth controversy.
You cannot be goth or punk and conservative.
Oh yeah, then
You're
explain.
just cosplaying.
Then explain Blair White. They say the same thing about trans people. Dude, they say the same thing about trans people. But look at Blair White. Hello.
Being a goth and being a punk is not about the clothes. It is about your ideologies and who you are as a person here and here.
That made me itchy. And I swear to God it smelled. When the f did being punk mean following all the rules? Following mainstream society, following the corporate media, following the corporations that all have guidelines and hiring practices and public belief systems that line up with yours.
Eat
When
her
the
up,
f did y'all
sis.
start raging with the machine, for the machine? When did
Eat
that
him
happen?
up, sis.
And also, just trying to be the gatekeepers of these not actually that meaningful phrases.
That's my
like,
goat right
we gotta
there.
defend punkness. Like, what are you talking about? It's really
His
not
beard
that
looks
deep.
like Gino
Well,
does.
Blair
Yeah.
White
We gotta
That's like Scott Pressler with
defend
Gino does. just.
punkness. Like, what are you talking about? It's really not that deep.
Well, Blair White obviously isn't a sincere interlocutor. I do think she accurately characterizes what most conservative Goths think. They do think that being conservative and voting for Trump goes against the mainstream. They see themselves as rebels fighting against big corporations and elites. Obviously, they aren't, but that doesn't really matter to them. How they view themselves is all that really matters. I'm not really sure.
By the way, Power Channel Live / JimboZoomer. If I had not been shilling it enough this whole time, we're 3 hours in. We're at $30. I mean, that's not the worst, but Power Channel Live / JimboZoomer. Support the show, keep it on the air, bankroll, send in media, send in whatever you want. Yeah, just you know, keep the show alive, or else it's over.
Sure, if there's anything we can do to
feel free to interrupt any of this. I don't care.
Convince them that by supporting Trump, they're working against their best interests.
The Slam Pig is a gay Nazi. Show some respect.
This video by quoting "Nazi punks fuck off" by Dead Kennedys. You'll be the first to go. You'll be the first to go. You'll be the first to go unless you think. If you're a conservative goth who's watching this video, realize that they're not going to stop at trans people or migrants. Eventually, they'll come after anyone who doesn't conform, including you. By co-opting goth aesthetics, you're putting yourself on the chopping block, and you unfortunately don't even realize that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and a huge thank you to my patrons who help make these videos possible. I did want to mention real quickly before I end the video that Drew and I will actually be at the American Atheist Conference in Minneapolis. That's happening April 17th through the 20th.
Ooh,
I'm really looking forward to the conference, and I really hope to see some of you there. A link to the conference will be listed down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out the sponsor of today's video, Womanizer, and use my code ANTIBOT20.
The All Right Pipeline almost got me. Here's why it failed.